Hello friend, so welcome you all once again to my channel CC and Seafarer. So in my part 1 video for this CLC convention, I have already discussed about the CLC convention, and in the last session we left why we required fund convention. So if the amount is increasing, like in previous part I have given one example that if the amount is increasing, then the whatever the maximum value, maximum liability of this owner, then who is going to pay. So from here we'll start the next session. So I have this one fund convention. Fund convention, this is also known as IOPC fund, International Oil Pollution Compensation Fund. So this is just a compensation. So if you ask about this, then it is CLC, and on and above the CLC, this fund convention is there. So you can say this is the supplement of CLC convention. So a little bit history of this I have already written here, so that it will not take more time. So it was adopted in 71. So this fund was adopted, it was in 69, and just after 2 years this fund convention was adopted in 1971, and after 7 years it came in force in 1978. And there was a protocol which came in 1992, and that protocol was enforced in 1996, and thereafter this fund convention is supplementing the CLC. Now we'll see one example, and from there we'll decide, and we'll know how this fund convention is supporting this CLC. So for an example, I'll just take an arbitrary number. Like suppose there is a damage. And the vessel's GRT, like we have already discussed that it depends on all the liability depends on the GRT of the vessel. So suppose the GT of the vessel is, what is it, like suppose 3000 GT, and the damage, the cost came as liability was, just take an example, oil spill happened, and damage caused by that oil spill, and cost came is suppose 10 million SDR. So as per the CLC convention, we have already talked this one is a vessel of less than 5000 GT. The liability is only 4.51 million SDR. So this one is less than 500 GT, but the compensation fund is compensation is required is 10 million SDR. So the owner will only pay 4.51 as per the convention. And now the question comes, who will pay after this? Because this is the required, and this is what owner have to pay. So then who is going to pay? Who is going to pay this 10 million SDR, means balance of this 4.51, that is what is 5.49 million SDR. So this is where the fund convention came. So it was then fund convention came, and as per that convention, the whatever the amount has been paid by the CLC from the owner insurance or the other financial security, and thereafter if any amount is there, that will be supplemented by the fund convention. So this 4.59 million SDR, that will be given by the fund convention. Now we'll see who will contribute to the, means where this fund will come. It is amount, then somebody has to give that money, then who will give? So the question is, we'll discuss a question on it, and the question is, who will contribute? Question is, who will contribute to fund? So the CLC, the convention told the person, means suppose any country who is, or any state who is importing the oil, it is because indirectly it is happening only because somebody is asking, it is requirement of some state that okay, I need that much of oil. So if he would have not have ordered that, he not would have this imported, then there were no chances of this annual spill. So the convention put all those liability on those person who is importing the oil. So the receiver of the oil, who will give this one? So receiver of oil in a country, he will be able to contribute, he will be liable to contribute those fund. So now it depends on when it will start. Means suppose I am a very small importer, and I am ordering 1000 ton of this thing oil, and if something happens, so am I liable to pay for that? Then no. Then convention said that if any state who is ordering oil, who is importing or receiving oil, 1,50,000 ton per year. One calendar year, if any country is importing more than 1 lakh, more than equal to 1,50,000 ton per year, then he will contribute to fund convention. So now the question came, how much he will pay. So in the next question, what we are going to discuss is, this question will discuss in which all cases money from fund may be paid. Okay, now suppose there are 2-3 importers, so they have contributed, and that amount has been put in some bank or some financial security there, and it is always available. So okay, so suppose 2-3 importers are there and they are contributing. So if, or then when that money will be used, the question is when that fund will become, because as per the CLC convention, CLC will go. So in what all condition this CLC will be the fund will be used. So here are three cases. So this question is there. Okay, all right. Question is, in which all cases money will pay from fund. So here I have three cases. And when first one, when contracting state, suppose any contracting state is there and receive no compensation for pollution damage. So in which what are the conditions? So when contracting state receive no compensation from pollution damage under CLC convention. So like suppose this CLC convention, if contracting governments like those country which affected by the this oil pollution, and he is the contracting party of that CLC convention, if he is not receiving anything from the CLC, convention, means from this owner liability, then in that case that will be paid by fund convention. Then this one we have already discussed what all condition the owner will not pay. So in this one, the first edge, owner is exempted to pay. So that already discussed in part 1, that if it is an act of war or natural phenomenon, in that condition owner will not pay because he is exempted from that. And another example was, if any third party is have caused intentionally the damage, and that case also the owner will say that okay, this is not under my liability, and he will not pay. And the third was, if the government of that particular government authority has not maintained the navigational and because of that, if some incident happen, so in these three conditions this is not applicable, and CLC convention will not be paid by the CLC convention. So in this condition fund will pay for that. So second condition is what, that when ship owner is incapable, when ship owner is incapable to pay, incapable for paying the damage under CLC. So now the question comes, when he will be incapable, and when he will declare that I am incapable. So this one I have already written here, and I will discuss here in detail that when he will be incapable. And the third case is when damage is more than the CLC limit. Like that was like we just discussed that example. If something is more than 4.51, so whatever the maximum limit of the CLC is 89.77. If something is more than that, then CLC will be then the fund will be used over the CLC limit. So that these are three cases in which owner is not liable to pay, or owner is incapable, or it is means the fund will be supplement the CLC. So one more question come here. Then when fund is not applicable, question is when fund will not pay anything. So because all these cases fund is supplementing this one, but one more cases are there in which that will be not paid by even the fund convention. So that is the only case when act of war is there or some natural phenomena is there, then that case also that will be not payable by anybody, and that will be just a circumstances, and the government of that state and the convention party or the international party, they will decide who will pay for that, but fund will not going to pay for anything which is resulting due to the act of war or or some natural phenomenon. So now the question came, when ship owner is incapable of paying. So this one will discuss in detail. So we'll discuss that question in detail here, because it is little logical. So the question is, when ship owner is incapable to pay. So I have already discussed that this, as per the CLC convention, the ship owner has to take any financial security or any insurance only when the GT of vessel is more than 2000 GT. In this condition only the owner has to take any insurance or any financial security. So suppose one accident happened, and suppose oil spill happened, and oh sorry, not GT, it is 200 ton. If it is more than 200 ton, if vessel is carrying more than 200 ton of oil, then he is not required to take any insurance or any financial security. So suppose a vessel is met an accident and oil spill happened, and the GT he has carried less than 2000 ton of oil, of oil. Then what will happen? It is and the vessel is, suppose, whatever the GT of that vessel. So in this case, even in this condition, as per the convention, owner is liable to pay. But suppose something happened and he has not taken any insurance, he has not any financial security, and he will declare that I am bankrupt, I have nothing to pay. Then what will happen? Then somebody will have to pay that money, no? So in that case, if he will declare himself as bankrupt, then in this condition also the fund will be used to pay this amount. So these are the three cases when money will be paid from fund. Now we'll see the how much. Now like we have there was a liability, maximum liability of the owner, that was 89.77. So there must be some limit in fund also. So how is the maximum limit? Question is maximum amount of compensation under fund. So it is in two cases. If this maximum compensation paid by the damage of a single incident, that will be maximum. Whatever the paid by the fund is maximum for a single incident, that is 203 million SDR. So as per the CLC, it was 89.77, and this fund increased it to 203 million SDR. This was also million SDR. So it was increased up to a valuable limit 203 million SDR. But one more case is there. If suppose any country in which three states are importing, three states, or you can say three importers are there who are importing the oil, and that oil is more than 600 million ton per year. Suppose in a country, if three states are contributing, or a total of their import is more than 600 million ton per year, then they will contribute additional fund in that fund convention, and then this liability will increase. Liability will increase to 300.74 million SDR. 300.74 million SDR. So and that will be paid by the IOPC fund. So this is the maximum amount which can be paid by the fund convention. So now this was okay for this total payment, and this also we can say, it works as a second barrier. There sometime a question come in your exam that how this convention act as a first tier and second tier. I'll discuss a little bit. I'll just explain that one in the graph form. But for that one, for now, I just tell you the CLC convention, whatever the insurance has been taken by the owner or the financial security which have to be, means the owner is liable to pay. So that will be considered as the first tier. That will be considered as first tier, that is 89.77. That will be paid by the owner itself, ship owner. And on the above, if following condition is coming, this fund convention is coming, so fund is acting as a second tier, because when this amount is insufficient, then on and above this amount, that will be come from the fund convention, and that amount will act as a second tier of the convention to pay. Okay, so this one will act as a second tier. Now one more the thing came which we have to discuss here, this supplementary fund. This one we have already discussed, this one we have discussed. Now supplementary fund. So as per the supplementary fund, this amount was increased. So who will contribute for the supplementary fund? So it is same like fund convention. Same importer will pay, and how much they will pay. The same condition is there. If they are importing more than 1,50,000 ton of oil in per year, then they will be able to, they will have to contribute. And if suppose in a particular year the contracting state is in a contracting state, if they are importing more than 1 million ton of oil, then they have to pay as per the supplement fund. So all the things whatever we have seen in this fund convention is same for the supplement fund also. The only thing is this liability under this one, if suppose that amount whatever is going to be paid by the fund convention is insufficient, in that condition the supplement fund will come, and it has increased the limit of liability, and from the this contribution from the supplementary fund is maximum is 750 million SDR. It has never been used till now. This 7 means never it was required to pay from the supplementary, because of the fund convention is more than enough to pay, but there is a security on and above this fund convention, and it is going up to 750 million SDR, and the condition is the same as fund convention. So now one more question, so we'll discuss about this one, whether India, because in our exam in MMD, one question come from the fund convention, that okay, India is the part of the fund convention or not. So yes, India has ratified this, but the 92 this thing is protocol is not ratified by the India. So still 1976 one convention, one protocol was there in 1976, and India is party of that, but not of this 92. So what all the compensation will be in Indian region, that will be as per the 76 convention. So now that's one more question is there, how much India contribute to IOPC fund in this one, how much India is paying, how much India is contributing. So this is 14.5% of all the importing, means see it is a huge contribution from the India. 14.5% of total contribution made in IOPC fund is only done by the India. One more question is there, if suppose any country is there in the world who is not the party of this convention, CLC convention, he is not the party, in that condition who is going to pay for? Suppose I am one importer is there from a country, and that country has not ratified this CLC convention, and some cargo operation is going to be happen there, and there was a spill. So the question is, if a state is not the party of convention, then who will pay for the damage? So if any country has not ratified, then it is matter of that country who is going to pay for that, but they will settle in themselves. But as per the convention, the government of that state, the state itself will pay for damage, and it is their internal matter who is going to, how they are going to settle. So if you are the party of this convention, then all the settlement will be as per the convention, and if you are not the party of that state, then it will be settled by the state, and they will decide how they will recover that money, how the government will recover that money. So this is their matter. Now the one thing is there, we'll discuss about the bunker convention first, and then we'll see the next what I wanted to discuss. So as in the bunker convention, I will see we have already discussed the bunker, because in bunker convention it is same like the CLC convention for the oil and this one, bunker convention. So nothing more to learn in this. The only thing what we have to see here is, if a vessel is importing it came in, yeah, suppose first is 2001, it came in 2001, adopted in 2001, and it is same whatever you are going to write for the CLC convention, same thing have to write, because that it is to ensure that there is sufficient amount available for the damage or for a cleaning purpose. Same, everything is same, just the thing is there we have already discussed the CLC for the persistent well, CLC is for persistent well, and it is only for persistent well, and this bunker convention is for any type of fuel means other than persistent well. So it is required, I have already discussed in part 1. So like MGO, MGO, MDO, diesel oil, so which are not persistent well. But the compensation is in this one, if compensation as per this one, because if any vessel like non-oil tanker, they have to carry this bunker CLC, and the limitation of liability is as per is, it is in two part, if less than 2000 GT and more than 2000 GT. So if less than 2000 GT, then 1 million SDR have to pay, that is the limitation of that vessel. If it is more than 2000 GT, then 2.5 million SDR plus per tonnage above this 2000 GT, and that will be declared by the convention. So a specific figure is not given how much for per GT, but that depends on amount basis on the per ton. So plus amount basis on per ton of ton above 2000 GT, and maximum it can go up to 10 million SDR, and thereafter the liability of the owner will finish, no more. And so this is only things which you have to learn, especially about this bunker convention. The rest everything is same as CLC convention. So one more question come is HNS. This HNS, hazardous noxious substance, which we carry as NX2 as per the Mark 4 on a ship, like a chemical tanker which is carrying the noxious liquid substance. So this one is adopted in, it is also same, settlement is same as per the CLC convention. So HNS, hazardous noxious substance. So it was adopted in 1996, and all the compensation and everything as per the same as CLC. So whoever like this is a noxious cargo which carrying a liquid or the liquefied gases also, if it is in liquid form, and suppose if a spill happened, then because of that noxious means the hazardous of that cargo, if they are going to threat the human, they are going to affect the human health and environment, then in that case this HNS will come, because CLC is also not covering this, because it is only for this oil, persistent oil. Fund is okay, the supplement, and bunker is for the non-persistent oil, but noxious substance is different from this both. So there is HNS hazard, but the settlement and everything is same as that convention, and here also the liability will be there and everything will be same as CLC, and limitation is there. The maximum limitation liability limitation is 250 million SDR. Rest nothing have to learn much about this. Everything is the same settlement. There is also some fund. That fund, if same like this, if they are importing receivers are more, then that will be settled from there. They will contribute some money as a fund, and that on and above this one, that will be supplemented by that fund. So fund is there, each and everything is there, same as CLC. But this only thing to remember here is 250 and the other thing is this adopted in 1996, and this is for the hazardous noxious substance. So we have already covered almost everything. The most concern about this type of convention, we know everything, but when we are going to write in exam, no, that time we don't recall what all the things to be written. So for that I have sort out some point, so that will be helpful. I think I guess it will be helpful while you are writing your example. So whenever there is any convention which is related to compensation, limitation of liability, then the first thing, because we need the 10 point, 12 point to write, then the first question came, oh, why that convention came. So first question is why. So if you know that about the convention, you can write why. If it is, then okay. If it came, now you have written that okay why it came. Then when, little bit history. So when you can write this one, and little bit history about this, yeah, when. So history of that. Then to whom it is applicable, yeah, to whom it is applicable. Then if it is applicable to, suppose now you have written as per the convention, you have already read to whom it is applicable. So liability convention, who community give this liability on whom, liability on whom. Okay, so as per the convention, so these are the things what all. And okay, so liability, suppose you have liability has been given, then condition in which it is applicable. What are the condition in which it is, condition in which it is applicable. Now you know that convention, if it is applicable. So suppose if it had decided that owner or for somebody else, most of the case it is on owner. So now if it is on owner, then he will go for what, because he will not take a risk, no. So he will go for limitation. So he will go for limitation. So we can write about limitation. Okay, now he have the convention has set some limitation. Now what he will do, he will go for some insurance or some, because he is not going to engage his that much money somewhere. So he will take the insurance. So insurance and insurance or other financial security. Now okay, now he know that okay he is having money. So the convention also give time limit. Time limit means up to what time you have to settle that money. Suppose somebody is going to damage, somebody is going to affect from your this oil spill or something, then they will, the convention set some time. And most of the, like if you go for the LLMC and other conventions, IFS, what that, yeah, I will say later. So in that one, then it limit the time, then in what time you have to pay all the amount. So time limit, and also settlement, how that settlement will happen, settlement. And then we will see that burden of proof, like who will prove that it is because of whom. So burden of proof, like if you go and you will during the PAL convention, no? Passenger and their luggage, and that convention you will see it is a big point there to prove the burden, who is burden, whose burden is to prove that whose liability is there. And then these are the points which will help to write in exam. So if you'll just recall this in a sequential manner, sequential way, then you'll be able to write the few points on the any convention related to the limitation of liability. Just connect one with the other, and it will become a chain, and you will be able to write the questions. So as far as the CLC fund and supplement fund, this is I think this is enough for this. And I'll try to make some more video on the salvage and all, but I hope this video will be helpful for you. And I'll request you to just write in comment box that if you want some other video, then I will write your comment, and I'll make the video on that. For now, this is all about this CLC convention. So thank you for watching this video, and I'll request you to please like, share and subscribe.